Oh, let's see. Joe. Hello. How you doing? Welcome in. The live. Let's see if I get something going here. Joel. Pull this up. Hey, welcome in. How you doing? Welcome to the live. Really just was trying to understand. I was watching this. Hey, Lisa. I was watching this earlier about. I was trying to understand this Joel 3, where they're talking about this. All I saw was about this museum in Egypt, and I was trying to understand how the museum in Egypt, if I could be explained better, how that has ties with Jehoshaphat and Joel. Has anybody got anything they can say about that? Do they understand it better than I do? I don't understand it a whole lot. But also I've been combing the internet looking for anybody saying anything, and everybody seems to be kind of quiet right now. Oh, what do you guys think? What do you think about it? Do you think that they're going to come out with something new, something revealing? Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's right. I'll take a look at it. I slept half the day because or I mean I was up to like an hour ago. I just staying up late last night. For some reason I couldn't go to bed. I ended up staying up till 4. About Tanzania, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Uh, what we were talking about was I will. She was going to thinking about being on the live tonight, but I slept half the day, so it didn't help things. Okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that out, Lisa. Yeah, but guys, yeah. Did October 31st hurt anyone? Because it didn't hurt me at all. Just makes me stronger and the community stronger. I don't know. I haven't noticed anybody being hurt because we're just so used to, at this point, hearing dates and different things, you know. And I'll still watch them. If somebody mentions a date, I'll call it a high watch day. Why not? You know. But they're all high watch days from here on out, really. Uh, we're supposed to be heightenedly aware of that it's on its way, and all of us will know what to do shortly before. Okay, just like Noah knew shortly before. So, like they've said on Rapture Radio, as far as like, yeah, you'll receive a sign. We'll all receive signs. I've heard people saying I've had a few questions about people not getting confirmations here lately. They haven't felt it, you know. Well, you know, the thing is people were getting confirmations about 923. I don't know why that is, you know. And little confirmations afterwards. I've gotten some confirmations. I wouldn't call them confirmations, but uh, things that happen that it's like there's no coincidences, right? And just weird things happening that have felt like confirmations. but I didn't ask for them. You know, it's just things happening. Oh, the vision. What was that vision years ago about November? I'm interested. I'll, I'll speak it out across everybody. It's Saturday night, so I didn't know how long. I'm only gonna be on here about an hour, guys. It's 5 minutes in now, so I'm gonna be on here a little while longer for sure. But it's Saturday night, and I figure it's probably a lot of people are out doing their thing tonight. In tribulations, well, you know, that's what I was saying before. Was is when it happens, I feel like everybody's going to be in different versions of the same thing. Some may be in mid trib, you know. I've heard people talk about different raptures. Now, I don't know what that's all about. Has anybody heard of that? You know, talking about three different raptures and what have you. I I personally believe that you can't have anything happen that you like. Jesus couldn't heal people that didn't believe. He couldn't heal them. He can only go as far as their belief would let them go. You know. You know. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was because I read that. Yeah, Lisa, I have that makes me wonder. You know, it's kind of like when the rapture does happen. Will it happen like we disappear and they just find our clothing? Well, we just come out of our bodies and they find our bodies and go, oh look, they thought they would get raptured and look at them. You know, how deceiving will it be? Okay, so the place Jesus went to prepare for us is a special place, right? He went to prepare it for us. That particular place is sleep. The people that are asleep in Him, it is a perfect place. But if you read the book of Enoch, you can see heaven has its problems. That's why there's a great battle going on there now. So the place that Jesus went to prepare for us is a different place than the heavens that you read about in Enoch. And that's what's going on in the heavens now. So literally, what's happening on earth right now is also happening in the heavens. So that's why heaven and earth have to pass away and us get a new earth and a new heaven. Does that make sense? Heaven's quite chaotic as well. But the place Jesus prepared for us is a peaceful place. Yeah, well, Enoch, it's okay, but it's not themed with the Bible. That's why it's not in there, and it has so much. I feel like they're hiding something, you know, to be honest, you know. But for Enoch to be spread out across so many countries, they're finding a copy of it everywhere, and it's in the Ethiopian Bible, you know, still. So you can find Bible versions with it still in there. So we can't say, oh, it's just not in the Bible. It's in some versions of the Bible, but not the one that I have, not the ones we get here. And that Ethiopian Bible is quite expensive. But anyway, back to Enoch. Yeah, it's quite a book, and it talks about him going in between the heavens and 7 layers of heaven, and not all of them were. It's just a big battle going on there. So what you see now on earth is also happening in heaven. We know that by just our Bible, but after reading the book of Enoch, I almost had anxiety, really. Is that in the dream? Yeah. So yeah, the Book of Enoch to show you about that. I also, I another book that I say that people need to take a look into, even though look, it's not in your Bible. It wasn't. It throws me off why they'll go, okay, so the Book of Hebrews, they can't figure out where it came from, like who the real author is or any of that. However, it's in your Bible. It made it through, you know. But other books that they just call pseudo apocrypha or whatever. How I forget what it's called, but yeah, what the books they call that they're not in there. Book of St. Thomas. You need to check out the Book of Thomas. It's all red letters, so everything you read in it is Jesus' words. And I've told this before, but if you've ever seen the movie Stigmata, that's the whole thing that was being hidden in the movie Stigmata was the Book of St. Thomas. So the Stigmata was her writing the Book of Thomas on the wall. It's just they're interesting, and you're taught to be a smart person and look into things. Okay, and this is the core. This is the core, but it doesn't hurt to look at other things. Who is that? I think was you told a dream earlier, and I think Holly Two Moons told a dream similar. Felt like she was touched on the forehead. You know, when I received mine, it was like in my head. I felt it. Also, I forgot to tell in that story earlier that when I was going through this, actually felt something said the walls of Jericho, and it literally felt like something in my brain was, I don't know, I felt something physically in my head popping in different areas. It felt like walls coming down, and that's when I began to understand the Bible like I did. Uh, it was an actual physical feeling. But that was my experience. But everybody experiences differently, okay? Some people it doesn't take what it takes, or they're not meant to do what I do. So it takes a lot less for them. I'll hear people's stories about their confirmations, and when I hear about it, I'm like, there'd be a license plate or something, and I'm like, that just couldn't be a confirmation for me because somehow my mind would cancel it out. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but for other people, it's a perfect confirmation. You know, I I don't know. I mean, I don't. I would feel like I was digging. In the golden atmosphere in 2008 and in 2021. Okay. We all have to admit that 2020 was something different, right? 2020, we felt something different. It felt like time started going faster. I mean, it just seems like they were doing the election and Joe Biden won. And then here we are almost a year into Trump being back in there. It just, time is, you'll just look up in the bed, that'll be over with. It's insane how fast time is going. So I feel like we felt the times and the time, but I feel like we've entered that half a time. Does that make sense? It's like times where times you were in, and there's a time you're in, and now we're feeling half a time. I don't know. It just kind of brings a bell with me. It looks like this is going to be a quiet Saturday night. Of course, we don't have, I haven't put a video out today. I'll put one out tomorrow. Yeah, it's felt like that to me. I mean, I look up and we'll wake up and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and next thing you know, it's one, and then it feels like it's over with. And especially with time changing is going to be getting dark earlier. But yeah, I was talking about Methuselah. Anybody know who Methuselah is? I was talking about in one of my videos, and back when I was mapping out, and I was really used to seriously map it out, and I just quit doing it after my time in with Elijah in 2010. I didn't feel a need to map it out, but I used to map it out about looking at through Genesis and trying to go backwards because I felt like it was kind of like a reverse type of deal with Genesis, and we were going backwards instead of forwards in it, uh, like a matrix. Like, okay, let's say if it was a matrix that from Adam to Jesus, there was death with the first Adam, life with the last Adam. So the last Adam ended up being the first. Then would it go backwards till we have the last Adam be the first Adam being the last to make it? So I was looking at things like that, and so it started making me go backwards from Noah, and I felt like in the year in 2016 we were in the year 5777 of the Hebrew calendar. Okay, well, one thing about I got out of the 777, uh, the year 5777 in the Hebrew calendar, and I read about Lamech. Lamech was Noah's father. Lamech lived to be 777 years old. Uh, he was Methuselah's son. So at that time, I was looking at I read about two Lamechs. There's also a Lamech on Cain's side of the family. So when you read down the Cain's line, they kind of have some of the same names. I mean, a lot of the same names. Well, one of them was Lamech on that side. Well, Lamech said he had a 70. It talked about him saying that if Cain killed his brother and received anybody who does something to him gets 7 times what they would do to them, then I've killed so many that the daughters of Lamech, basically, that the daughters of Lamech should get 77 times. So you got a 77 on this Lamech and 777 on this one living 777 years. So I was like, I called it the year of Lamech. Well, Lamech on Cain's side, Lamech on that side doesn't stand for longevity. It stands for believing in anything but God to save you. So if you live by the gun, you die. The gun's going to have to save you. If whatever you live by is going to have to save you. So I took that one and the 77 slash, and let's put the 777. And I said, on the seventh day of the seventh month, the year 577 will start the year of Lamech. Not an instant, but a marker. When I did, in 2016, crime it shot out the roof. Ever since 2016, the year 5777, it's shot out the roof. Y'all follow me? I'm trying to make sense here a little bit, but I know I'm leading you somewhere with this, and I had to go there first, just to show you I had been there. So the next thing on my list was Methuselah. And I couldn't think of how, I've used that 969, trying to figure out what does it mean. I've even tried to break the numbers down, like maybe nine, and then the six, and then the nine means being one way, being the other, and then back to nine. I don't know. I've tried to use that number all kind of ways. And I just kind of stopped there years ago. But I realize now that talking about we're hours of Methuselah taking his last breath. Does that make sense? If the flood started when Methuselah died, then we're in the times of Methuselah taking his last breath. Uh, that's the way I look at it. And the next step is Enoch. Enoch would be the rapture. So I'm kind of gone backward like that through Genesis. And I stopped there a long time ago, and that's when I stopped mapping it out, and I just kind of lived life. Okay, and if I had it more fresh on my mind, the things that I was thinking about then, it would flow easier. But it's because I kind of quit mapping it and just went with what Elijah said. You know. And I've had people, whether they believe me or not, about Elijah. You know, it bothers me none. I don't. I was never told to tell the story. You know, I just did. Anybody, what's up? Anybody got anything? Any kind of confirmations? Anything special? Anything new? Anybody come up with seen any kind of dates or anything out there on the YouTube that you've been watching? The Catching Away. Is that the name of one of the videos or something? Anything new? Anything exciting? You know, knowing that we're at the door, like I was saying earlier, the key is if we have anything to do with it, and we're getting people to Jesus is the key to this being finished. Yeah, I even feel slow. Like honestly, I've been struggling all day to not. I mean, not really struggling. I slept it, but just having much to say. I'm kind of tired. Stayed up really late last night, and so till 4 in the morning, and then got right back up at like 7. So literally, the no sleep is what's got me. I'm kind of foggy headed. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Uh, October 31st, October 30th and 31st. I can't remember the reason. I think it was something about the lunar calendar. But what threw me off is I would have felt like it would have been something heading more towards the next full moon being probably the closest to Earth, right? The moon looked awful close to Earth yesterday. Uh, I've got pictures of it. Let me see. You know what? You all want to see it? I want to show you. I'll show you it if it looks like anything on here. I got a picture of it. This was it last night. Okay, but that wasn't the first time I had seen it. That was the awesome one. I was seeing it during the day before. It was pretty cool, but I would think, to me, it would seem like if it was going by lunar calendar, wouldn't we be looking for like a new moon or or a full moon, not just a half moon? You know, so I would think that if it does have something to do off the lunar calendar, wouldn't we be looking for the next lunar something or other? Not just go, okay, well, it's this and at this phase of the moon, and then just stop it somewhere halfway in the middle and call that the day. It seemed like it would, like I say, they would be looking for more like what's the next full moon? Is that what, November 4th or I don't know what day it is, or the next new moon. So I now I was thinking that before October 30th and 31st because I was looking at what moon phase we're gonna be in, and it just nothing added up as far as that. That would be like just going. I go off the lunar calendar, and we're gonna use a half moon. So I would encourage if I have all any of the lunar people that look at the lunar calendar and the things they figured out is why they chose to pick October 30th and 31st as the time. Is it just because of the date? You know, I don't know. Oh, I know what it was. Didn't they just like they were trying to use all the things of that Joshua said, all the things that Sister Lingui said, and different ones, and put it together, and 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 came out with he said on the 16th and 17th day. So she had counted all that together to come up with October 30th and 31st. But however, I would think if God was working off of a lunar calendar that he would go from full moon to full moon, or full moon to new moon, or new moon, or whatever that is, whatever the new moon is, and whatever that little one's called. You know. But yeah, I would encourage them to take a look at that and see if they can think of anything out of that. What's made you think of that November 2nd being it? Yeah, I want to see what Bro Scott did. Was that today? Bro Scott, he had something to say yesterday, and I felt like he got shut down on the Rapture radio show. Not. I mean, basically, I thought he was going to say something, and after they said something real quick, he's kind of like retracted, didn't say I think what he wanted to say, and I'm interested in seeing what that was. I've heard the sixth. Dr. Barry All said the 7th of November. That's not him, I don't think. I was talking to some bro Scott that was trying to sell me some. If it's the real bro Scott, he needs to let me know because the other one tried to sell me some stock or something. I don't know. Oh, did he? Okay, yeah. Barry All mentioned it for some reason. I gotta look and see why they've mentioned that as you know. Okay, okay. I'll see about joining up with that. Yeah, yeah. If you see somebody, look, I do not. Here I am. I'm doing a ministry online, okay, and of course, everybody's trying to make ends meet or whatever, you know. If you see anybody on here using my name or anybody comes up asking you for any money, you'll never hear that out of me, okay. I don't leave. I don't have a. I'm not going to do that. So I did watch a strange. I know this guy online. Knew him about 5 years. I watched a strange video the other day, and it wasn't his voice, but it was him. Looked like him talking, and I was like, "This is AI." It said something. I looked down the bottom, and it said AI generated. And this is a guy I know, like online. So I literally realized that they can do a lot of different things, but nobody will ever ask you for anything from me. I don't do that. I have uh, do have where people can donate or whatever, but that's upon their own will. You know what I mean? Some people feel like they want that option, you know, but I don't. I will never ask for anything. So if you hear that out of anybody, for me, trying to sell you stock or trying to ask you for anything, pander, then it's not me. Bro gang, what's up? The bro, that's you just type it in there like that, and it'll pull him up. I haven't been on WhatsApp in a while, so I'll have to check it out. I haven't. I've got a following on TikTok, but I haven't been messing with TikTok all as much. They don't seem to be near as interested as the YouTube community, you know. But I've been combing the TV all day long, trying to find anybody saying anything that you know, anything new or have any kind of insight. And like you said, the whole Watchman community seems to have went quiet, dark for a little while. And Rapture Radio would just, they're not even, they're talking about different events, but they're not talking about any like times that they've mapped out or anything like that. But I interested that somebody thinks that uh, November the 2nd, I've heard November the 7th and 6th and 7th. And I've heard Barry All say that, and I don't know why he said it. But he said if it didn't work out, he would just go to the next one, you know? So that's all we can do is move forward. And we only go off those dates because of different feasts and times that throughout uh, the Jewish holidays or whatever. We just try to go off and take a look, take a delve off in it. Not Jewish holidays; they're actually feasts from the Book of Leviticus. Yeah, I didn't. You say you see what I'm saying? Like I've noticed like a little bit of a change. I like Joseph Allen more by himself. I just do. Um, yeah, yeah. I've sat here and it's like if you've learned anything, we've learned anything out of all this is that it Jesus would know ahead of time that no man would know that day or hour if literally the calendars are all messed up. Times, days have been taken away and added, and you can't even figure out what the calendar is. You know, at this point, everybody's fishing. You know what this one might think. I enjoy seeing the community come together as a like this one listens to this one, and they all just kind of somebody puts a big picture together. Love that. But what I did notice on there was is that when you get us together and we start conversing together, like talking together, like that's what I've noticed out of that Zoom call is that then you start getting opinions in it, and people shut down like Bro Scott did, and he didn't say what he was going to say. You know, I know he wanted to say more, and he didn't because of a guy's opinion on there, and basically, I don't know, not, he didn't say rebuke, but it sounded like he was rebuking anything that. And so, Bro Scott, I think he had something he wanted to say, and he just said, "Well, I just don't feel like I should say it." You saw him, you know, tighten up a little bit, and I don't like to see that. I like if you want to let the spirit flow, then let it flow. It seems to be going from person to person, and if we listen to everybody, you know, you'll get a better, clearer picture. But I don't know that bringing everybody together that in that way is helpful. I think it was more helpful listening to what everybody's saying that they come up with through listening to other people's videos and then saying it, you know. Oh, I don't know my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp. No, I have to look at it. Like I said, I haven't been on WhatsApp in a while, but just what's the name of it, and I'll just go find it. If you can give me the exact name or whatever, I'll go find it. You know, I'll get on there. You know, see what's up. Yeah, it, it, it's like that. You know, uh, now, it's not that their dreams and their visions and their visitations aren't real. It's just how did they interpret it? You know, you listen to what's said in some of them, and then they say, "Well, I thought it was this," or "Yeah, you know, I envisioned this is what God was saying to me." Or some people lay it straight out, just like they know exactly what was being said. But I want Jesus too. I'm like, come on, Jesus, Lord, where are you? Why we got to keep sitting here like it's being delayed? You know, can't you make somebody right, huh? Can't you make one of these guys right? Just let them be right. I don't. Who cares? You know, I know he's gonna. I know we're in the season, and if I'm wrong, then and that experience was wrong, then it wasn't one of those. I had a dream, and I'm just telling you about it. I had a vision, and I'm trying to tell you my vision. Visitation, it wasn't in that kind of way. Like it wasn't, you know, somebody just appeared before me. Somebody actually walked up to me and started talking. And it was Elijah in a person's body, and three other people was there and witnessed it. Had their own experiences with him at the time. Oh yeah, listen, I have. If you want to ask me and that's not just what I believe, but what I've known I've known that 2026 is going to be flipped upside down on its head. When Joshua says there's going to be no World Cup, I don't know about the World Cup. I don't know. I don't. I'm not. I don't like soccer. Nobody get mad at me about it. I just don't like soccer. I don't care to watch it. I've never kept up with it. I'm not a soccer fan. Okay, and so I don't know anything about what the World Cup will be, won't be, but I believe in that part. I believe him in all of it, but I believe him. I believe there will be no World Cup because this world is going to be different. I sit here every day. I don't know about you guys, but not only do we're sitting here waiting on Jesus, but I sit here any minute feeling like you know, like, I don't know if you have, it's not really anxiety, but it's just knowing that the world's going to be different here soon and knowing that well, we're all at once the lights are going to go out, or there's going to be a huge earthquake that really affects all of America, or you know, and that affects me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about the whole world. I'm just talking about, or all this war and you know war talk and all these. Somebody's going to try us. You know, and you know, turn this world upside down on its head, and in a single day. Biggs is called for it. If you have listened to Brandon Biggs, he talks about everything will change in a single day, and we've had way more people say that than just him. And Brandon Biggs has been right about a lot, but he's also said a lot. You know, he's he prophesies more than the Bible does. Would y'all agree? But and I try listening to him. Yeah, I know. I know. But can you imagine what it's going to feel like when we get there and we have the energy of more than it better, feeling better than you did as a child? Hey, you want to do this? Yeah, I'll go do it. And not having that feeling like, no, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. No, come on, leave me alone. Like a little kid will keep on. Come on, Dad, will you do this? Will you do that? Leave me alone. I just got home from work. I'll do it later. Whatever. You're just you're wore out, but you won't have that wore out feeling there. So I'd be like, hey, want to go to Jupiter with me? Of course, let's go. I mean, that's the way I that's the way I see it. It's gonna be you won't be held down by the way a body feels. Yeah, and this world's been horrible to children. That's how. Look, another thing is, I don't know if y'all remember back when they started canceling everybody, and at the same time they canceled, say, the memorabilia of our president. They canceled Q. What is it? I don't. I can't say it. Can I say it on YouTube? Maybe I shouldn't say it. It sounds like AQ, and then later Anon. And all these people talking about it. And it is something so big that's like, what could I could possibly, I don't know any of these people. I couldn't possibly do anything to help. But it sickens me to think that they do things to our children like this. It sickens me, okay? But it's really happening and happening on a high scale. Where did these kids that were like when Joe Biden, where did these kids that they were putting on airplanes disappearing to? And they'd say they're going to the donors. Who are the donors? What is this? Like, what are they doing? They're doing, it's horrible. I'm not saying that I'm into any of that. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I would not think it's good. And I don't think God looks highly upon that. I think he's not going to keep allowing this to happen. And it's becoming more mainstream. We're hearing it online. It's more talked about on TV with the P. Diddy thing. And I just, yeah, I can't wait to fly to the sun. I can't wait to feel the energy of being connected with the one source, the one true source, and being with all you guys and just loving you. You don't understand something, okay? I want you to think about it like this, okay? So, like, okay, if let's just say that he's coming back in this equinox, and what if he waited to the last day of the equinox? Okay, it was just like literally like he gave him every chance. You don't realize, like, you're like right now, it's like, oh, I want to get there. Wish these people would hurry up or whatever with getting saved, or what. But you look at it like you don't realize how much we're gonna love each other. You don't know real how much you're gonna love that last person entering the ark just as much as the first people. You're gonna love them so much, and you're gonna realize when you get on the other side how much you actually love these people that you don't know as of from here, because we're a true family there. It's true love. So you care as much as Jesus does, and you don't even realize it about the people that uh, are boarding the ark last. Does that make sense? Like saying we love each other. You don't realize how much we love each other until we get there, and we'll see how much we loved each other and go, oh my gosh, wow. You know, how wowing is that? Right? Right. We just go ahead and take care of that. Goodbye. Look at that. He got raptured. He got raptured right off the show. Anybody see that? Right off the live. Guys, I've got 15 minutes here, and I know that today it hasn't been much of a mess. I just really wanted to hear other people's visions if they've had anything. And everybody sounds like they've been really quiet on here. Yeah, I went ahead and raptured them out of here. I can't deal with that. A lot of people talk about, uh, I've had people ask me about worried about because they smoke. I smoke, and I don't know if that might be, uh, them worried about that they couldn't make it because they smoke, and maybe God would look down upon them or whatever habits they have. And I sit here and vape on a show. You know why I do it? Because I like it. It doesn't come between me and God. I don't care what anybody else thinks about. They don't have the relationship that me and God have. They've got their own relationship with Him, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We each have a personal relationship, and what bothers you with them doesn't bother me at all with them. I talk to Him with my, and I don't have a problem with it. You know, does that make sense? That's why in Romans it says some people can eat meat and some people can't. Yeah, I quit. I quit. But I also had a buddy that you noticed up in the background. It says 501 Vapes over there. My buddy owns that shop, so he gives them to me. I don't buy them, and he takes care of me on that. And I just like the way they taste. Instead of having a drink in my hand all the time, I have something fruity, and it's just I like it, like so. I don't mind doing it on my show. I'm a person. I'm a different kind of person when it comes to. I don't think you can be too good. The people that get off here, like all of these guys, they don't matter if they get frustrated and they say a cuss word, It does not make you. We all do it. We all do it. We all have it in us. Okay. It doesn't come between you, as long as it doesn't come between you and God, meaning that you go talk bad to your brother or sister, or uh, go talk, you come that comes between you and God, or you don't love the Lord God with all your heart and mind. That's what Jesus said. Those are the two greatest commandments, and they're the truest ones. But if God has a problem with me doing this, He'll work with me on it. It would be called a transgression. But because it doesn't come between me and Him, I don't consider it that. It's just something I do. John the Baptist ate locusts and honey, you know. Yeah, quitting smoking's a hard thing. I would say probably the hardest thing to do, as far as like trying to find something to do with your hands. You're so used to doing something with your hands. I smoked for many years. Since my brain was eating, I've been having problems to read, write, and understand. But overall, if I honestly, they're so expensive. I probably wouldn't do it if I had to buy them. They did. I've got about another 10 minutes on here, guys, and I just like to say I wanted to hear Lisa. I would love it if you would just do videos and show me. I want to hear some of the things you got to say. And see, look, do not let if it listen. I've explained sin consciousness. Okay, we wake up to sin. We realize you don't know it as a little kid. You don't know that you're sinning. Or Sin's not hasn't had come. You haven't become aware of it, so you haven't become aware of the sin consciousness. You're not in it yet. That's why little kids are free of it. But when we become aware that we're sinners, okay, and we go ask Jesus for forgiveness of that, and He washes it away, we're a new thing, no longer under the sin consciousness. So everything you do when you're a sinner, because you're under the sin consciousness, would be considered sins. So if I would, and it's only because your mind does that. Oh, I smoke. God, I don't want to talk about God right now. Because you're smoking. It's separating you from God. I don't want to talk. If I had a drink last night. So you feel like you've got to go. It's a process that keeps circling. Uh, you keep sin. More things you do are considered sins under the sin consciousness. When you're no longer under the sin consciousness, they're not sins anymore. They're transgressions and trespasses. Okay, so then you got to say, okay, well, if I haven't trespassed against my brother, and I'm not transgressing from the Father, meaning that things aren't coming between me and the Father. Okay, because transgressions are anything that comes between you and the Father. But that happens in here. You let it come between you and the Father. Now, I mean, transgressions don't come between you and the Father, but he'll work on you with them. That's why you feel sorry about them, or maybe I need to repent and rethink doing this thing, or whatever it is. Okay, but sinning is something you do under a sin consciousness, and once you're no longer under the sin consciousness, because Jesus took that away for you, then you're not sinning. They aren't sins. That's why you ask for prayer and forgiveness of these things, not of sin. You're no longer separated from the Father. All right, C Pop. Thank you. I'm fixing to go too. I've got a few more minutes on here, and well, I don't know if you might get over that fear right there, or and be all you got to do is just get on and tell your story. The things that you've seen, you've wrote them down, right? You probably wrote them down somewhere, or you just have them by memory. But you have a lot of them. You're kind of like a Brandon Biggs in that dream era or visions. Brandon Biggs is nonstop coming, but he's hit quite a few things on the head. What the last one is Pam Bondi. He said that, and I heard him today when he said it. He was praying for Pam Bondi. He saw something like $50,000 reward for her head, like a wanted sign. And then, wasn't a few days later, they come out and said Pam Bondi had a $45,000 hit on her by somebody. It paid a ransom of 45 to have her executed. So he called that one. And what about Trump? When Trump got shot in the ear, he said that a few months before that he saw Trump being shot in the ear. Uh, Brandon's been right about quite a bit. He also, I think he called that when they burnt that Tesla at that casino in Las Vegas. And then that other guy went in Louisiana and shot, you know, those people up. He called that one too. Yeah, he's quite interesting. It gets kind of hard when he starts speaking in tongues and doing it because he'll do it for long periods of time, and I would rather him do that and write the stuff down and then tell us about it instead of doing all the tongues on TV. Personally, here's the thing: I don't like people talking things over me that I don't understand. I don't. I don't. I don't like regardless of what it is. I I don't like they speaking things that I don't understand over me. You know, I want to. If I understand it, that's fine. But if I don't understand it, don't speak it over me. You see what I'm saying? I've had a few scary movies I've watched in the past, and right at the end, they'll go studying some stuff in some Latin or something. I cut it off. And watching that, you ain't saying that over me. But overall, I believe, he's a really sincere guy, and he really, I like him and his wife, and they're hard not to like. And they're the number one watched Christian anything here on YouTube, from what I understand. And they've come a long way really quick. Yeah, I just if I if it starts sounding weird, Latinish and stuff like that, I don't like it. I'll cut it off. Don't speak it over me. I don't want them curses. Oh, but yeah. But overall, yeah, listen to Brandon Big some. He has a lot of insight as to what he sees for. But understand this: that anybody has visions, they don't know what time period they're looking at. They don't know where they wait. You notice how some people have dreams in tribulation, and they just wake up basically in the middle of tribulation or something happens, and they're seeing. I don't know if you're actually seeing a version of yourself, or you're kind of seeing it through someone else's eyes, a vision through someone else's eyes, and then coming back. You're just seeing different versions of what'll be going on for different people. Some will be going up, and they have that vision as they're going up. Some have vision that they got left. They're more the left behind group, you know, uh, and they'll have their version of what they're seeing during that. And I really believe that if we wrote everything down and let and had some way of tying it all in together, it might give us a lot of insight. Take all these dreams, visions, and we had an actual special AI that could put it all together and show us how it all ties. I would love that, And if I not that's I don't like to talk to AI, but uh, getting the answers really quick is pretty nice. Hey, I've seen when I actually saw a vision years ago where I saw my death, and it was more of a tribulation type death. Let's put it that way. It was I don't know if it was my it was a but I was about to be decapitated. I was held by a whole group, my arms and legs. I was held by them and bound, and I was looking out of my eyes and about to get my head cut off. And right as that was about to happen, the next thing I know, I was looking from the crowd at myself. I was no longer in myself. I was looking from the crowd as it was about to happen. And an angel took over my body at that very moment. And I no longer was going to feel the pain. It's taking it for me. Because death is not real, death is an illusion. Yeah, I'd already seen it, and I was about I was that's what they were doing. They were about to cut my head off with a sword. You know, yeah. Once that's one thing Jesus cures for us is that we've already overcome the first death. We don't die, and everybody always thinks that a person that goes through death is so horrible. You don't understand how your body works. Uh, if you get really traumatized, like something's happened to you, really trauma, like if you got, I don't know if you've ever been clocked or anything like that, you don't feel it. Or if you're in some type of altercation, you don't feel it because them endorphins kick in. It's not something you feel till afterwards, right? It's the same thing death wise. You have endorphins that kick in, literally like so much pain, you don't feel it anymore. You just know it's happening. Okay. It's uh, death is not as horrible of an experience for the people that actually go through it. than it is for, or death. When I say death, when this body drops, okay. But imagine that something happens so fast you don't even know what happened. You're just on the other side and don't know how. Like, how did I get here? What happened? You know, that's how it's gonna be. It's like you just from one place to another, and it could happen so quick you not even know what happened. Somebody's in a car wreck and they just don't even realize they've been in a car wreck. You know what happened there, or they was on an operating table and just never came back. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I I had a dream one time I got shot. Now I think it was a dream to wake me up. It was right around the time that I started waking up, having all my spiritual things. But I had a real vivid dream. I even woke up sweating from it. You know, I almost felt the shot. It was a shotgun, and I almost felt the shot when I woke up. I woke up right when it happened, and it scared me. I mean, it was like I was really there. You know, when I say vivid dreams, that was probably the first real vivid dream I've ever had. You know, but yeah, guys, I will put out a video tomorrow. We got to keep it together, stay strong. Remember, stand firm and hold the line, guys. Uh, that's true. I mean, we're right here at the finish line. Methuselah taking his last breath. We're right here at it. And all we have to do is just hold on because Jesus is on his way. And I know I'm not, I've been saying that all along. These dates, I'll observe them. I will go with high watch days on them, even the ones, if they come up with some this week, that's fine. What else we got to do but say, hey, hope it's today, right? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like I say, I wish I would have dreams like that. I just don't dream like that or dream often. And normally when I dream, if I remember any of it, it was a bunch of nonsense. But I will tell you, you want me to tell you a dream that my dad had in 2020 that really, I interpreted it, and you tell me if you think I interpreted it correct. He said that he walked outside. This was in 2020, and my dad don't tell me things like this, so it was quite strange that he even mentioned it. But he said he walked outside of his house where he's at now, and he said he looked up in the sky, and as far as he could see, it was clouds, but they were all in the shape of animals, different animals, and they were in a row as far as you could see, lined up. And he said a thunderous voice came from the sky and said, "We are in the 24th hour." And he said, I, and he told him, "I want you to shout." He did say that. "I want you to shout this from the mountaintops," like he wanted him to tell it. But I don't know that he ever told anybody but me. My dad's he just not that way. But anyway, I looked at the dream and I said, okay, well, the animals are representing Noah, the ark, okay? And the 24th hour means we're in the last hour. And that was in 2020. Do you guys think I interpreted it correct? Yeah, me too. I hope it's his next minute. But regardless of what it is, we're going to be happy for the brothers and sisters that we waited on. You will be just as happy because you don't know how much you love them until you get there. You're going to know how much you love them. You're going to realize you're glad God waited. Jesus waited till the exact moment He did, because you're gonna love this person that just came on, just as much as you love what you would call your close family now. Yeah, yeah, but here's the deal. And I've held on to it. For me, for the prophecy to come true, I'm not. Is it me that's prophesying, or is it Elijah that prophesied to me 10 years ago and I'm just telling you what he said? Okay. Or is it that Elijah came to me and then when I tell it, I'm prophesying? I don't know. I don't know. I have talked to people in the past that have been healed that I didn't even know they were being healed. The guy swore to me that he never could hear out of his left ear. And while I was talking to him, I was talking to him about uh, God, but I didn't know a healing was happening. He said he got hearing out of his left eardrum, and just different things like that I wasn't expecting. He said he never could hear out of his left eardrum, and suddenly, after that night, he could hear out of his left ear. He heard it pop, and then. And I thought that was amazing, but I didn't. And I've had other people have experiences, but it wasn't anything that I knew was going to happen. It just happened, you know. Yeah, I have made a video, but you know what? I um I have no problem telling it. I'll make another video, a fresh video. But if you want to see me talking about it 5 years ago, saying the exact same things that I'm saying now, I did put a video on here. It's a black and white of me on from TikTok in 2020, saying the exact same things I'm saying. No, I haven't said anything new as far as the Elijah thing in 10 years. It's been the same out of me in 10 years. The people around me, and then the people that I got on. Let's see, I can look. I don't want to just jump off here because I'm about to get off here anyway. But yeah, if you go through my videos and you find a black and white, my hair's kind of slicked back a little bit more than this, and I'm talking about yeah, and I'm talking about 5 years in the future, which was this year, and that was just because I just got a platform and learned how to do videos, back then. So yeah, or I would have been talking about it earlier. I didn't know how to do that type of stuff. TikTok kind of brought me into the knowing how to do videos, and I get more out of the YouTube community. TikTok, they're just so they flip through everything so fast without paying attention to it that how do you know you're truly getting that many views, or is it just that many people you know look at it for 1 second and flip through it? I don't know. But I got a lot of fans and a lot of likes back. Oh, I got 5,000 followers over a month and a half, 2 month span, and then I couldn't figure out how to get back on TikTok. Something happened, and I thought they canceled me. I was like, well, they're canceling people. I guess they canceled me. I lost all my followers and everything. And then my daughter, like I say, my daughter calls me up. She says, Dad, why do you have two TikTok accounts? I said, I don't. She said, yeah, you've got one with just a few hundred people on there, and then you've got one with 5,000 or something. I was like, what? And then my son said, let me see it, Dad. And he gets me into it. I'm back into it after not being on there in 5 years. Yeah, but everything's for a reason. I don't feel like my message was to get out there too far. I don't know why. Listen, with what I've read, and I'm going to say this before I get off here, because I'm a little over right now. And I promised my wife that I would make sure. And plus, I want people to watch it. And when it's 3 hours long, I don't know if people truly watch it. you know. But this one's not like a great one to watch. It's just you and I talking, and I don't really have a whole lot to say tonight because we've been going through a lot lately, you know, and the community, and I just I want to. I needed a little pause for today, you know, a little break from it. I guess it's because it's the Sabbath, and maybe it's just a rest day, you know. But anyway, what was I going to go to real quick? What was we just? What just sparked? That's my mind. That's where my mind shot. I don't even know what we were just talking about. Let's see. Oh, you want to see where I was talking about it 5 years ago? Is that what you're talking about? I tell you what, you can go on to. I'll give you. You guys got TikToks? Do you guys have a TikTok as well? Because I can give you all the videos. I mean, I could upload them all onto YouTube if you know, take them down from there and upload them onto YouTube. But I don't want to lose people by putting old videos on. I do have some good ones, you know. I've got a story about Job that I could tell you guys that, you know, it'd be a good one for one night. And I just have it in my heart when I get a message, I come on here, and when I get a message, it's usually pretty good because I get a lot of views over like me and the two witnesses. And I feel that's very important in this time to talk about the two witnesses. And that video's been watched about 20,000 times. I didn't even know that till last night. It's still being watched highly. Okay. I know exactly who the two witnesses are. I don't care what anybody says. I know their name, the names. However, you know, we can break it down and say, "Oh, it's two kingdoms. It's two this. It's two that." I don't know how far that goes, but I know the names of the two spirits that are raised as the anointed. They're the anointed ones talked about then, and I talk about it. There's some things that I'll go, okay. I'm kind of more open. I'm open to saying, okay, well, maybe those two spirits are up at two kingdoms or this or that. I don't care what it said about it. I know how it works. I've experienced it. So it's like one of those things with the Elijah thing. You can't steal what I know, you know. But yeah, okay. So here it is. Can I type on here? I don't know. I don't know if I can type on here, but anybody can type this. It's at Patriot underscore Pip, PIP. It's all lowercase. So at Patriot underscore slash PIP. But make sure if you come in there, you give me a like and a follow. That's it. So if you go find that, find me. It's got the same symbol as on here. I use the Ezekiel's will for my YouTube. I also use it for my TikTok. So, and don't get there's two accounts. Don't get them confused. It's the one with the most followers. I haven't quite gotten on there and gotten rid of the old account yet. Here's the thing, like the one with the 5,200 followers, I can talk about these things and they love to hear it, and I'll get some likes and gain some followers or whatever. But I did notice on the account that I tried to bring up after that, that didn't do any good. I could say the same things, and it was more of a make fun of session. Like I'd read a lot of horrible things people were saying. I was like, has TikTok changed? Well, when I got my account back, it's like they don't act like that. It's a different community. I don't understand it. YouTube's been brought up from scratch. Like this YouTube's been brought up from scratch. It's not even 2 months old, maybe 2 months old, and it's grown. I've got almost half the followers that I had on TikTok, and that one took me about 2 months to get it, 2.5 months to get where it was at. So YouTube's growing just the same. I gain followers each day, you know, but I can't I can figure out like I look and I'm like 10 new followers, wow, and I look and three are gone. I'm like, what happened? But I think YouTube corrects different things like fake accounts and all that. So they adjust you'll gain stuff, but they adjust it for whatever reason. Uh, they feel like the account's fake or whatever, or somebody's trolling. Who is that in here? When they start coming in here and we're talking about Christian things and they start talking about gays and I want to give you a kiss and all that, it's like, oh, this person trolls and, is that even a real person? It could be just a bot that just says stupid things, trying to make you mad. Really? Well, I don't know. Have you ever watched the movie Knowing? It's got Nicolas Cage in it. The movie Knowing. Well, I that one's got Ezekiel's wheels in it too. Now, and that one they just take the children. But I've always had my yeah. Well, the movie Knowing, it came out in about 2008, and it was a solar flare that was actually headed towards Earth, and there was angels there during that time. There was you have to watch it, but they kept seeing these angels, and Ezekiel's wills came down and saved them. Took the children, but saved the world. Took the children away from the world before it was destroyed by this one big solar flare. That was the sun touching the earth, and I know that's the way it's going to happen eventually. The earth will be scorched by fire. No one will escape it that's here. No one will escape it, you know, except for those that are snatched away or caught away. No one will escape that. None of these tunnels that they're digging, Elon Musk and all these ones that are digging tunnels and making cities they're saying they're carrying food and they have whole cities under there. They're just making a big mass grave. No one will escape that. But yeah. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out the movie Knowing. It's really good. It's not so old that it doesn't seem like you know it's pretty relevant. But that was a good one that came out, I feel like there's a lot of truth to it. We've kind of take a lot of movies and that came out during that time, and they were. I got a lot out of the Matrix. I really did. There's things that I learned out of the Matrix that kind of go with my spiritual journey. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. I remember exactly how. Yeah, yeah. That starts out the kids from 1950s or something, or uh, doing a time capsule, and then they open the time capsule later on, and then the numbers all start adding up to different things. There's a lot of truth to that. And guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. If that's okay, we'll go ahead and good Saturday night. Tomorrow I will actually I'll try to put out a good video on something in the morning. Just we got to remain we got to remain excited, guys. We're on the edge. Trim your lamps. Keep plenty of oil because the time is close. And um, there's no need to not be excited. It's just we can't go right now. Point at November 1st and say, oh, he might come. There's nobody doing that. Everybody seems kind of tired, more take a break and think, But I am interested, like I say, to hear what Bro Scott. I wish he would. I'm gonna go check out what he's talking about on WhatsApp. Yeah, yeah. Sitting here on each one of these dates has been fun and exciting. It's just like I've heard no dates. I've heard no dates. Just a couple, and they haven't really stuck in my head why. They they're saying them. I know, like I say, Barry All's calling for 11-7. There's a couple other people saying I've heard that. It made more sense with me back when uh, the way 3 Atlas was coming in to our area was right around then where we could see it the closest to Earth. So we'll see. Yeah, yeah. You got to think when the Holy Spirit, if the Holy Spirit, when he lives from the earth, that being that sun turning black as sackcloth and the sky rolling up like a scroll, you got to think when the Holy Spirit leaves, or we leave with them, but the ones that stay and they have no Holy Spirit, what spirit you think they're left with? We're not very good if we take the Holy Spirit from us. There'll be no good in us. You know, I saw that. Um, that was a vision I had back in '07 or '08. I had a vision about that, and we'll talk about that on another video for sure. I forget the visions. A lot of times I forget about. I did have a lot of visions back in '08, and I haven't talked about them. But yeah, yeah, you guys go check me out on Patriot Pip, and I put a couple of the videos up here, but they if I thought they would get watched a lot, it'd be a reason to put on here. But if you can just go check me out over there and see all the videos I put out back then. And no, there's the one I'm talking the most. The one I did, I actually had a chemical burn on my face, and my eyes were bloodshot. I was quite miserable doing that video. But I have a lot of good videos on there too, as well. And I don't mind talking about any subject. Sometimes I might just get on and just start rambling and talking about my own subject. But I don't want to talk about the rapture every video I do, just because there's other things that need to be said, and I don't mind like making them. When we have these high watch days, I'm excited. It's happening this season, but sometimes I have a little something other to say, and uh, I try to wrap it all up in one and make a short video to keep people's attention spans. But I'll say anyway, guys. I love you guys, Lisa. I love hearing your stories. What's strange? I passed a street sign earlier. Maybe it was a mile marker. I don't know what it was, but it was 717. And I was saying, why did I look at that very moment? I don't know because I don't normally look at mile markers, but it's just stuck in my head because it said 717. But anyway, love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Please, guys, uh, have a great night and. Stay strong. If anybody can send me any videos, I always like some insight. So when I come out, I'll be like, hey, look, I got some new this or that. Let's talk about it and see if we can be excited with them for this date, because we know Jesus is soon return. Somebody's going to be right eventually. Let's see, real quickly, uh, to go to prove this out of the Bible real quick. I've done this many times before, people that know me well, but this right here in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, proves that eventually we will know the times. Why? He told him to seal it in the book. But the questions asked was, how long will it be before these astonishing things are fulfilled? How long will it be before you give me these dates? I want these dates that these things will happen. How long before I'll know what's going on? And he tells him to go his way and seal it in the book to the end, until the time of the end. And we're in the time of the end, so we know that at some point that seal's going to break. I feel like it's already been broken, me knowing the season. But the closer it gets to it, somebody will say, we will know, we'll either physically, spiritually all know ourselves all together, and nobody will be saying as much as they have been, or it'll be common knowledge among our community of when these things are fulfilled. You know, I'm not saying that it has been thus far, but I'll tell you this: I've never had a bad feeling about Joshua Malekla. I just never have. I feel like there's some truth in what he's saying somewhere, and it just didn't. I mean, I why do I feel so calm and have that calm feeling and all that when I would listen to him? He had a feeling of Christ on him, you know, and I felt it, you know, and like Joseph Allen, I feel his sincerity and genuineness. You know, I've seen the tears come out of his eyes, you know, for his parents, and I feel it. Brandon Biggs, I feel his sincerity, you know, and I hope you guys feel mine. You know, I'm just really tired today, and I'm just I really enjoy talking to you guys and getting asked different questions or being told different things. You know, and I did promise I'd be on tonight, but I didn't want to let anybody down. But tomorrow I'll be a little more refreshed. I'm going to give me some sleep tonight. Try to have me a dream, huh? Y'all pray for me to have a dream or a vision. That's what I want. I want some dreams or some visions, something I can get up and tell you about, like something specific. I just don't ever have anything like that lately. You know, I could tell you about spiritual things that happened to me in the past, but more happened to me in the past than has lately. As far as like you know, one another thing is before I get off here, I've been waiting to feel the angels around. Back in 2015, there were angels everywhere, all around me. I knew they were there. I felt them. I seen them. It was different. Okay, and I haven't had that come upon me just yet. But as soon as that feeling comes upon me, I'll know that we're getting on the time. You know, so maybe I'll feel it. Trump, 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 Trump. What's that all about, bud? Well, sorry guys. Mr. Plaid just got raptured off of the show live. I didn't. That's a good little feature. I didn't. All right, guys. Love you, Lisa. Love you, Joe. Always good, Mikey, Mike. Anybody else in here that I'm not mentioning? It's not because I don't mean to. I enjoy coming on. I don't know if you could tell, but I've been wore out all day. It's just didn't get much sleep at all last night and just kind of stayed maybe got an hour. I don't know, but I slept in there in the chair from 1 to about 4 today. So yeah. Hey Michelle, we were just getting off here, Michelle. I'm sorry, but tomorrow will be. I'll do some good videos or a good video, and I'm gonna try to get one out tomorrow. And but yeah, we've had a good time in here, just talking. I didn't want to stay. I was gonna stand here an hour, and now I'm 20 minutes over. Uh, guys, I love y'all and enjoy being around y'all. Doing good, doing good. All right, great, Michelle. I'm sorry. I was just getting off whenever you came in and said hello. I've been saying I was getting off here like 20 minutes, but I keep on talking and rambling, and that's all it is rambling. I've been really tired today and haven't had much to say. But anyway, bye guys. Love you. Jesus loves you.